Our final outcome steps back from the technology itself to ask about its effect on people and society, the legal, moral, and ethical side of using computer systems. We will walk through the main UK laws that govern computer use and then weigh up the wider impact of technologies like artificial intelligence and social media. Let us begin by separating three ideas that often get blurred. Legal issues are set by the law, rules everyone must follow, with real penalties for breaking them. Moral issues are about right and wrong, as judged by society's shared values. And ethical issues are about doing the right thing in a professional, responsible way, even where no law actually applies. The crucial point is that something can be perfectly legal and still be seen as unethical, so it pays to keep the three distinct. There are four pillars of UK computing law worth fixing in your mind. For data and privacy, there is the Data Protection Act 2018 and the UK GDPR. For misuse and hacking, the Computer Misuse Act 1990. For intellectual property, the Copyright, Designs and Patents Act 1988. And for access and equality, the Equality Act 2010, together with the Web Accessibility Guidelines. Get comfortable with what each one is for, and you have got the backbone of this outcome. Let us give each act its job in a sentence. The Data Protection Act 2018, alongside UK GDPR, controls how personal data is collected, stored and used, and gives people rights over their own data. The Computer Misuse Act 1990 makes unauthorized access, hacking and spreading malware criminal offences. The Copyright, Designs and Patents Act 1988 protects software, music, images and writing from being copied without permission. And the Equality Act 2010 requires services, websites included, to be accessible and not to discriminate. Let us look more closely at data protection, since it touches almost every organisation. The rules say personal data must be kept accurate and secure, and used only for the purposes you stated. People have genuine rights to see the data held about them, to correct it, and to have it deleted. The Information Commissioner's Office, the ICO, enforces all this and can hand out very large fines, as British Airways discovered after a data breach exposed customers' details. In practice, it means organisations have to train staff, secure their systems, and appoint people responsible for data protection. Two more laws shape how we behave online. The Computer Misuse Act 1990 makes hacking, unauthorized access and releasing viruses illegal, and it actually grew out of the case of RV Gold and Chiffreen, where the existing law simply could not cover early hacking. Copyright law, meanwhile, protects software and digital content, so copying or sharing it without a license is against the law. The practical upshot for users is blunt. Downloading pirated films, music or software is both a criminal and a civil offence. The law also looks after access and well-being. The Equality Act 2010 requires reasonable adjustments so that disabled users can actually reach digital services, and the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines set the standard for building accessible websites. On top of that, the Health and Safety Display Screen Equipment Regulations protect people who work at screens all day, which is why employers must provide breaks, adjustable chairs and eye tests for regular screen users. Ignore all this and an organisation risks legal action. Get it right, and it designs inclusive, safe systems. Let us take a quick bird's-eye view of it all. The Data Protection Act guards against misuse of personal data and affects anyone holding data. The Computer Misuse Act guards against hacking and malware and affects every computer user. The Copyright, Designs and Patents Act guards against illegal copying and affects both creators and users. The Equality Act guards against inaccessible services and affects service providers, and the Display Screen Equipment Regulations guard against screen-related injury, affecting employers and staff alike. Let us see these laws land on one small business, an online retailer storing customer names, addresses, and card details. Under the Data Protection Act of 2018, it must keep that data secure and use it only for fulfilling orders. Under the Computer Misuse Act, staff must not go poking around records they have no reason to see. Its website has to meet accessibility standards under the Equality Act, things like text alternatives for images, and all its software must be properly licensed under copyright law. Break any one of these and you are looking at ICO fines, lawsuits, and lasting damage to the firm's reputation. Now to the trickier territory, the moral and ethical questions that the law does not always reach. Computers bring enormous benefits, but they raise genuine dilemmas around artificial intelligence, cloud computing, blockchain, social media, privacy, and unequal access. The same technology can help and harm in equal measure, so both society and professionals have to weigh the trade-offs honestly. This is exactly why professional bodies like the BCS publish codes of conduct to guide people towards responsible behavior. Let us take artificial intelligence first because it is moving so fast. Today's AI is narrow, brilliant at one specific task, like ChatGPT writing text or a spam filter sorting your inbox. General AI at a human level does not yet exist. And superintelligence beyond us is still entirely hypothetical. The benefits are real: faster medical diagnosis, automation of dull work, powerful accessibility tools. But so are the concerns: bias baked into the data, jobs lost, misinformation spread, and the hard question of who is accountable when an AI gets it wrong. Here is a dilemma that is very much alive right now. A company uses an AI tool to shortlist job applicants automatically. The benefit is obvious. It can screen thousands of CVs in no time and cut out routine work. But the concern is just as real. If it was trained on biased past data, it may quietly and unfairly reject certain groups. Legally, that could breach the Equality Act 2010 if it discriminates. Ethically, candidates deserve to know a machine judged them and to have a human check the result. Responsible use means testing the tool for bias, keeping a human in the loop, and being open with applicants about how they were assessed. It is worth holding the benefits and the concerns in the same view. On the bright side, cloud computing lets small firms use powerful tools cheaply. Social media connects people and spreads information fast. AI supports healthcare and productivity, and blockchain can make records transparent and hard to tamper with. On the other side sit the worries: the loss of privacy through constant data collection, misinformation, and online harm, jobs displaced by automation, and the sheer energy that data centers, mining, and AI consume. Nearly every benefit comes paired with a concern to manage. Let us unpack two of those technologies. Cloud computing stores your data and runs software on remote servers reached over the internet, which gives flexible, low-cost access to powerful tools, but it does raise the question of who really controls and can see that data. Blockchain keeps a shared, tamper-resistant record spread across many computers at once, and it underpins cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, while also promising more transparent supply chains and records. The catch with crypto is significant, though. The mining behind it uses staggering amounts of electricity and can open the door to scams. Gaming and social media are woven into daily life, and they cut both ways. Online and console gaming connects players across the world and supports a huge creative industry, but it carries risks too: addiction, in-game spending, and younger players being exposed to strangers. Social media spreads news and knits communities together, yet it can also carry misinformation, cyberbullying, and real harm to well-being. Good netiquette, sensible age controls, and easy reporting tools all help keep these online spaces safer and more respectful. Three linked issues sit at the heart of online life: Privacy, because companies now gather vast amounts of personal data, which raises hard questions about consent and surveillance. Netiquette, meaning simply treating others with respect online and steering clear of trolling or bullying. And freedom of speech, which has to be balanced against censorship, harm, and illegal content. Social media platforms wrestle with exactly this every day, deciding where free expression ends and harmful content begins, and there is rarely an easy line to draw. Two broader impacts round out the picture. The digital divide is the unequal access to devices, internet or skills, and it quietly deepens existing disadvantage for those left behind. Globalization lets work and services flow across borders, which can be positive, but it can also move jobs around and widen inequality. And there is a real environmental cost. Manufacturing, data centers, and cryptocurrency mining all devour energy and materials, while the mountain of e-waste from discarded devices is a growing global problem. So, how do we actually manage all this? Acceptable use policies set clear rules for using computers and networks at work or school. Codes of practice and professional codes like the BCS one guide people through ethical decisions. Education, digital inclusion schemes, and affordable access all help close the digital divide, while greener data centers, recycling, and the right to repair reduce the environmental harm. The judgment to take away is that technology's effect on society really depends on how responsibly we design, govern, and use it. So pair every concern with a way to soften it. Let us bring Learning Outcome 4 together. Legal issues are set by law, moral issues by society's values, and ethical issues by responsible professional conduct. The key UK laws are the Data Protection Act 2018 and UK GDPR, the Computer Misuse Act 1990, the Copyright, Designs and Patents Act 1988, and the Equality Act 2010, plus the Accessibility and Screen Safety regulations. Breaking them brings fines, prosecution, and reputational damage. And technologies like AI, cloud, blockchain, and social media bring genuine benefits, but raise concerns over privacy, jobs, misinformation, and the environment, which acceptable use policies, professional codes, digital inclusion, and greener practice all help to manage. That draws our final outcome and the whole unit to a close, having moved from the letter of the law through to the ethical judgment calls that technology forces on us. If you would like to read further, the list points you to texts on ethics in information technology by writers like Reynolds and Bott, and to authoritative sources such as the ICO, the legislation.gov.uk website, and the W3C Accessibility Initiative. Two case studies really bring it alive: RV Gold and Shifreen, the case that led to the Computer Misuse Act, and the British Airways fine under the Data Protection Act. Do explore them, and remember the assessment wants each concern paired with its effect.